Our bodies are storytellers, and movement is how they release the chapters we no longer need. That rhythm, the rise and the release, teaches your body how to recover from stress in a healthy way. Movement literally moves that energy through and out of your body, preventing it from getting trapped in your muscles or your mood. Water is the bridge between the physical and the energetic. It helps move energy through the body, flushing toxins, clearing stagnation, and literally helping your nervous system conduct signals more smoothly. When your body is hydrated, your cells communicate better. Your brain functions more clearly. Your intuition becomes sharper. Om Namah Shivaya, 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 Om Namah Shivaya. Good day, beautiful souls. Welcome to Break the Cycles podcast, hosted by me, Alicia Cherie. I'm so glad you're here today, joining in for this episode. So today we focus on nutrition, hydration, and movement as healing practices. Hey, soul sister. Before we dive in, make sure you followed and subscribed to this podcast so you never miss the next drop of healing energy. And I want to hear from you. Leave a comment or some feedback. Let me know what's been resonating with you and what topics you want me to cover in future episodes. Your voice helps me shape this space for our community. Also, if something in this episode speaks to your spirit, share it with a friend, a sister, or anyone who's walking their own healing journey. Because together, we're not just healing, we're evolving, expanding, and reclaiming our power. Now, let's get into today's episode. Your body is your first energy field. What you put in it and how you move it matters. And that is a crucial factor when you're regulating your nervous system and when you're really trying to get out of that fight and flight state we talked about in our previous episode. If you missed it, go back because you need to hear that. I grew up on the system, so food stamps came in literally once a month, and we had to stretch that for the whole month. So the mindset that my family had was to get whatever we could to make it last. And because of that, we ate a lot of quick processed meals like banquet TV dinners. Who remembers those? Or the Celeste or the Geno's pizzas. And we drank lots of Kool-Aid with a lot of sugar in it. Because let me tell you, one pack of Kool-Aid makes a gallon. Okay, so that definitely lasted us for a while. We never paid attention to the ingredients or the nutrition labels. We paid attention to the price. If it wasn't cheap, my mom was like, put it back. We're not getting that. Growing up, though, my grandmother cooked a lot for the family. You know, we always had like Sunday dinners and get-togethers, and she loved to cook. But, you know, she grew up in Mexico. She grew up very poor. The way she was taught to cook was with a lot of lard and vegetable oil. She made everything fried. She also was very cost efficient, so they didn't buy organic or they didn't buy lean meats or none of that. And what really shifted for us as a family was when my abuelo, my grandpa, got diagnosed with diabetes. And then after that, he got older, his health started degrading. He had strokes and heart attacks and all that surrounded around what he ate. So as a family, we knew we had to make a change in our nutrition to keep him alive. Then later on, when my mom passed from cancer, I got even more strict on my diet. But I will have a future episode on that because we're taking baby steps here. So what was the big shift? The big shift was for us to change our perspective and look at food as energy, not just taste. So real quick, have you ever tried those fad diets like keto, paleo, or Weight Watchers, or even tried downloading those apps to count your calories and your macros and all of that? It's time consuming and overwhelming, right? If you have, and it's to the point where you just quit. It's not long term. Once you stop, you gain the weight back. I mean, tracking your calories and macros is probably sustainable, but we're talking opening the app and scanning the barcode every time you eat or entering the calories, the fat, the protein, and carbs. It's like, that's not something that is suitable for us career-driven women. Like, we're busy, especially if we have kids, we're on the go. We don't got time to do that. I've tried that so many times because I know it does work, but let's be real, it's just not for us busy women. And those fad diets, sorry to tell you, they're not sustainable. You are cutting carbs and sugars or something out, which is causing fatigue. These diets are literally for short term, which is why people hop on the bandwagon. It's for rapid weight loss, not longevity. And it's not about how fast you lose weight, it's about how long you keep it off. It's a lifestyle. This is just an overview, and I'm by no means a nutritionist or anything like that, but I'm just sharing with you things that worked for me to make the shift to a healthy lifestyle. I was a career-driven mommy, and I just didn't have time to do all the counting calories and all that. So, real quick, let's get into some high vibe foods versus low vibe foods. Overall, healthy fats obviously are like avocado and oils, sugar derived from fruit, instead of junk food. Those are good to get a habit of, and eliminate the deep fried foods. Use an air fryer instead. For us as a family, we did limit the soda, the chips, the junk food, and really just substituted stuff. So instead of using a lot of lard and vegetable oil, we were like, hey, grandma, use extra virgin oil or avocado oil or grapeseed oils. Instead of using white rice or pasta, we use brown rice or pasta. And then soda was a huge thing in my family, so we switched to trying different sparkling waters. And some of them are nasty, but there are some really good ones out there. Nowadays, I have the Olipop and the Poppies sodas that actually have prebiotics. They're pretty good. Low sugar. I think they have like 7 grams of sugar. And then instead of those high sugar juices, we would drink tea. Instead of sour cream, this was a huge one because we're Hispanics, y'all. Instead of sour cream, we use Greek yogurt. Okay? Game changer. And some people like Greek yogurt has that nasty taste, but if that aftertaste really bothers you, just add lime or lemon, and it's almost just like sour cream, I swear. If you don't like veggies or fruits, we started getting the powder juice that has your servings of veggies and fruit in one glass. You mix it with water and boom. And some of those actually taste really, really good. So that's kind of what we did as a family. And it helped with my grandpa control his sugar level, control his fat intake, all this stuff. And my grandmother was open to it because she was like, oh, it doesn't really taste bad when I do use extra virgin oil, or this Greek yogurt doesn't taste that bad, blah, 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 right? But, they were older, so it was a lot harder to get them to make that change. But I'm talking baby steps here because that's what worked for me. So another thing, though, personally, that I think would help anyone, especially, career-driven women who are busy, if you're like constantly on the go, start meal prepping. It helps to get on a routine. That way, when you're hungry, you don't even need to think about what you're going to eat. You don't even need to factor in time to make it, and try to eat every 2 hours. And when you prep your food, you eliminate the temptation to eat out or even eat processed foods, right? Because you're like, oh, I'm just going to heat something up. I'm just going to grab a quick TV dinner or whatever it is. If you want to go up a notch, get a food scale and start weighing your food. Again, I'm not a nutritionist or anything like that, but based off your weight and height, you can detect how many ounces of carbs and protein your body needs. When I started my fitness journey, my goal was really just to lose fat and get more lean. So my trainer started me with 4 ounces of carbs and 4 ounces of protein. And then I ate unlimited veggies, and the only fruits I could have was mainly blueberries. But really, the goal is to start with the low sugar fruits, because there is fruits out there that have a lot of sugar. So it's not like you can just have unlimited fruits, because too much of anything is bad for you, right? But blueberries is key. Blueberries is like one of the most healthiest ways to get natural sugar intake, and it's delicious. But any other kind of low sugar fruit would work. So that's kind of how I started, and that was it. It was simple. On Sundays, like half the day, I would do meal prep. So noon, I'd go shopping, come home around 1 or 2, start cooking. Rice, potatoes, and beans were my go-tos for carbs. And then my proteins were like fish, chicken, and sometimes steak. But if I did steak, I always did sirloin because it's less fat. Or I would do ground turkey a lot too. I lost so much weight just doing that, and it was sustainable. I kept it off over the years. And I would eat that Monday through Friday, and then Saturday I would have a cheat day or something because you do got to reward yourself. And I'm not saying that you have to cut out all the bad foods all the time. It should be a balance. You shouldn't be eating 80% of the time bad and then only 20% of the time good. We want to flip that. So I would reward myself with a cheat day where I would go eat whatever I wanted, pretty much. And then, as time passed, I would actually just change that to a cheat meal. But we'll dive deeper into that later. Baby steps, remember? So let's talk about emotional eating because that's a thing. And that's what I used to do a lot. Emotional eating isn't about hunger. It's about using food to suppress energy, emotions, or stress we don't want to feel. We turn to drugs, sex, and alcohol to numb the pain, numb the feeling, numb the stress and the worry. It's the same thing to escape from all of that. So eating was my number one outlet, I have to say. I used to eat when I wasn't even hungry just for the taste. And if you think about it, when you are eating something so tasteful, doesn't all your worries fade away in that moment? Because you're focused on the taste and you're just like, oh, this is so good, right? So what do? You keep feeding yourself because you don't want to face those other emotions that are coming up or those things that you got to worry about. So let's break the cycle and instead meditate or journal or move your body because you will get the same results in terms of letting go of the fear and diminishing your stress and your worry. But now on top of that, you're fueling your body. So think about that. When your body feels nourished instead of depleted, your nervous system calms and you can hear your intuition more clearly. And that is the goal. That's what we're trying to do here. Hey there, sis. If you've been noticing the same emotional patterns repeating, feeling disconnected from yourself, or sensing that something within you is ready to rise, I want to invite you into something sacred. At the end of March, I'm hosting a live 3-day virtual workshop called Awaken Your Highest Self. It's designed to help you build awareness of the cycles holding you back, regulate your energy, and step into deeper alignment with who you're becoming. This isn't about fixing yourself. It's about remembering who you are. You can learn more and join us at alishasheri.com, ALISHASHERI.com. I would love to hold this space with you. Next, let's get into movement as a medicine because movement is key as well. Have you ever noticed that when you feel heavy emotionally, your body feels heavy too? Our bodies are storytellers, and movement is how they release the chapters we no longer need. So when your heart rate rises, your sympathetic system, the one responsible for the fight and flight, gently activates. Then, as you slow your breathing and cool down, your parasympathetic system, the rest and digest side, steps in. That rhythm, the rise and the release, teaches your body how to recover from stress in a healthy way. Does that make sense? That's why sweating also helps release stored hormones like cortisol and adrenaline that build up when we're under stress. So movement literally moves that energy through and out of your body, preventing it from getting trapped in your muscles or your mood. You hear that? Your mood. This is why it's so good to move your body. And I'm not just talking like a brisk walk. I'm talking something that gets your adrenaline pumping, gets your heart rate pumping. Because as your blood starts flowing and your heart pumps stronger, your brain gets more oxygen and nutrients. You feel clearer, calmer, and more emotionally steady. And those endorphins and feel-good chemicals that come with movement remind your body that it's safe to feel alive again. Yeah. the endorphin part. And there's something sacred about the sweat itself. It's your body's way of cleansing and restoring balance. Every drop is a release, a message to your nervous system that says, I'm okay, I'm safe, I can let go. I just love to sweat. And for some reason, I am a huge sweater. I have some friends that just don't even sweat. And I'm like, what is wrong with you? We're in Hawaii and we're hiking. And I had a friend that does not sweat at all. And I'm like, you must be miserable. She's like, I just never sweat. And I'm literally drenched when I hike out here. And it feels like a 30-day detox or something. And I get it in like 2 hours. So sweating is so good. And look at it as a sacred thing for your body to just release everything. I'm not saying you have to get up and put gym clothes on and go to the gym. Whatever feels good for you, because moving your body can be done in so many ways. It can be dancing, stretching, walking. It can be anything. If dance is your thing, like you may not even know it, I found out that I love to dance. Like I really love to dance. Put on a song that matches your emotion, your sadness, your joy, your frustration, and let the body just move intuitively. And don't even worry about the choreography. It's about emotional freedom. There's some times where I would just do that. And growing up, my mother used to do this a lot, and I would always look at her like she's crazy. But now I realize she was just feeling the music, and the music set her free. Because that's what I do. When I'm home alone, no kids, nobody, I'm literally dancing all over my house. Like if I'm doing laundry, if I'm cooking, I'm dancing on the furniture, against the wall, whatever. Totally in my vibe, not giving a F what it looks like, because I know it probably looks a little crazy, but it's so relaxing. I can't even explain it. Even stretching releases fascia, and that's where emotional tension lives. So, in yoga, we do a lot of like hip openers. And when I first started yoga, I kid you not, we were doing the pigeon. And if you don't know what that is, it's a huge hip opener. Look it up. But one time I did it and I just started crying. Like out of nowhere, just started bawling in the yoga studio, because that's a sign that you have some emotional tension that lives in your hips. And when you're doing these certain stretches, it's releasing it. So if you're stretching, I just encourage you guys to breathe into those tight areas and listen for what the body is holding, because you would be surprised. And then even just walking, like fast pace, whatever, just to get your heart rate up, or even if you're not walking at all, a little brisk walk. And let's just talk about even doing that barefoot in your backyard, or doing circles in your backyard or something. Also known as earthing or grounding. And connecting to the Earth's surface charges the body with negative ions that reduce inflammation and calm the nervous system. So if you haven't done that, you're probably like, ew, that's gross. I'm not going to go put my feet out on the grass. Just do it. Wash your feet after, okay? You'll thank me later. And when you are walking barefoot, remember that you're supported by something bigger, the earth herself. So again, movement, whatever it is for you, whether it's going to the gym, doing an aerobic class, doing Zumba, whatever it is, just move your body. And trust what movement feels good in the moment. That's what it's about. Whatever your body's calling for, do it. One time I even did some pole dancing, because I always wanted to do pole dancing. And I go there and there's obviously a lot of like strippers or people who are actually do that for a job. But there is also some people there that just do it because they enjoy it. There's another thing in Hawaii, it's called heels, some kind of heels dance. I forgot it's not called that, but basically you get all sexy in lingerie and you go dance in heels, and they do choreography and you just follow them. Another thing I tried just because I always wanted to was salsa, baracha, and soon I want to try like tango, but just get out of your comfort zone a little bit and just see, because you might not even know what you like. So, and this is kind of, where your human design angle comes in, because the spleen center represents intuition, safety, and the body's instinctive wisdom. So your spleen doesn't speak in words, it speaks through sensations, a tingle, a pull, a lightness, or a contraction. So it's all about what feels good in the moment, and your body will tell you. You just gotta put it in motion so your body can feel it. That's why I say do the things that you probably wouldn't even think you enjoy doing. And just, move in ways that feel safe, nurturing, and alive. Let go of the shoulds, no strict routines, just trust your body's whispers and use movement as a dialogue. Like, what does my body need right now to expand, to cry, to rest, to flow? And this is why I started doing yoga. And then eventually I just became a gym freak. I was holding so much stress. And when I moved my body, it was like an instant release. And for me, yoga and gym go well because I would use yoga as my recovery days from the gym. And gym is good because it helps me release frustration and anger. But then yoga just helped me reset and centered and grounded me. So I think those two combinations were very, very good. And then I would just sprinkle in dance whenever my body called for it. Hey, my soul sister. If you've been feeling off lately, maybe drained, stuck, or disconnected from your purpose, I want you to know it's not all in your head. It's in your energy. That's why I created my free chakra healing guide, your simple roadmap to understanding the 7 energy centers in your body and how they shape your emotions, your clarity, and your flow. So, if you're ready to feel balanced, grounded, and in your power again, check the show notes below to download your free chakra healing guide to transform your energy from the inside out. Next, I want to talk about hydration as energy flow. Obviously, hydration is super important. In fact, I've been talking a lot. I need to take a drink of water right now. So, if you just take a moment right now to notice your breath, so much of your healing journey is about learning to flow emotionally, energetically, and even physically. And one of the simplest ways we can support that flow is through water. It's not just something we drink, it's energy in motion. Just like emotions, water carries frequency, it conducts energy, and it absorbs intention, and it reflects vibration. Think about it. Our bodies are made up of nearly 70% of water. That means every cell, every organ, every thought you have is influenced by the energetic quality of the water you take in. That's huge, right? When you drink mindlessly, you're just hydrating the body. But when you drink consciously, you're nourishing the soul. That's deep. I'm going to repeat that. When you drink mindlessly, you're just hydrating the body. But when you drink consciously, you're nourishing the soul. Water conducts energy, right? And energy healing, we often say that water is the bridge between the physical and the energetic. It helps move energy through the body, flushing toxins, clearing stagnation, and literally helping your nervous system conduct signals more smoothly. So when your body is hydrated, your cells communicate better. Your brain functions more clearly. Your intuition becomes sharper. Yes. Hydration is a physical way of saying, I'm open to flow. Mm-mm-mm. That's good, right? So when you drink water, imagine it as liquid light, cleansing, hydrating, and bringing new life into your body with every sip. So if you drink water right now, that's great. You're supposed to drink so many ounces of your weight. At one point, I was just drinking however many pounds I weighed. That's how many ounces I would drink of water. But now, I think right now I have a 40 ounce and I drink, yeah, this is a 40 ounce. So I try to drink 40 ounces a day. So what is that? 120 ounces of water a day is what I try to drink. But if you're taking in your water intake, great. But I'm going to take it a little step deeper for you. And we're going to talk about blessing water before drinking. It's like a spiritual reset, and it doesn't take much to do. So let's go a little deeper. Before you drink your water, hold your water in your hands and take one slow, intentional breath in the nose, out the mouth. Speak an affirmation into it, something simple like, may this water cleanse my energy and restore my peace. Or I am safe, hydrated, and aligned. Or Every sip fills me with light. Whatever it is that resonates, your words change the structure of energy around you. And Dr. Masaru Emoto's research showed that water exposed to loving words and gratitude forms beautiful, harmonious patterns, while negative words distort its structure. So when you bless your water, you're blessing your body too. It's like killing two birds with one stone, and it doesn't take much, maybe like 2 minutes. So, in closing, I just want to do a quick reflection with you all. If you can just pause for a minute and recall the last meal that you ate, how did it make you feel? Energized or heavy? Was it filled with healthy nutrients or filled with not so healthy nutrients? So, if your answer was, it made me feel heavy, it wasn't filled with good nutrients, I challenge you to eat a nutritious meal and see if you feel the difference. I don't know where everyone's at in their stage when it comes to nutrition. Some of you may be balanced, some may be more on the unhealthy side or wherever it is. If you're pretty balanced, good for you. If you're not, have compassion for yourself because it's a huge cycle to break. And it took me decades and life changes to occur for me to change my perspective and really make the leap into a healthier lifestyle. So don't be hard on yourself. But I really do hope that this podcast gave you some ideas on at least what foods you can substitute starting now and even just see the difference in that. Please continue to watch this podcast because I do plan to make another episode on more tips on how you can kind of get there, get over that. Going back and forth, like, oh, I'm eating healthy, but I'm not. I do it for a month and then I stop for 3 months or whatever it is. I went through the same thing too. This is a huge step and a huge change that doesn't stick sometimes the first time or even the 10th time you try it. So don't be hard on yourself. But do try to do better each time. So I'm just going to leave you guys with a few journaling prompts. Hopefully by now you have your journal. 1, which foods and activities drain me? Which fuel me? 2, how do I treat my body when I'm stressed? Okay, so take those journaling prompts and do some reflecting and see what your answers are and see how that resonates. Okay, and then I'm going to leave you with an affirmation. I feel my body with love and my energy flows freely. I feel my body with love and my energy flows freely. All right, that's all I got for you guys today. Thank you so much for joining. And remember, if this podcast resonates with you, please hit subscribe, follow, and share with another woman. The more you share brings more visibility on this podcast and will help the healing community at large. So let's continue to heal together. Have a great day.